There's some people they're addicted to this idea. They think that newer is better, that whatever the new trendy thing is, that's where the value is. And I think the new trendy thing is usually bullshit. I like to buy boring things that I can understand. I like to do boring things repetitively. Like if I go lift the weights, my muscles get bigger. If I go do the MMA training, my skills get better. If I go do the boring things in business that other people don't want to do, our brokerage account gets bigger. It's how you make progress. What are your thoughts of doing, boring things consistently versus, trying the new trendy, spinning back fist or whatever?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Coaching, you get guys, they want to come in, they see the cool moves they see, but you got to really get the fundamentals down first. And it's just doing it over and over. It's the boring stuff. You can't come right in and start doing the fancy stuff unless you have complete understanding of all the basic movements.
If you don't have $1 million yet, you're living a much lesser life than what could be easily available to you with the right guidance. My head coach has freed up a few spots in his calendar to hold one-on-one strategy calls with the highest quality applicants. If you're doing well already and you're looking to accelerate your momentum and do even better, click the link in the description now and apply for your strategy session. More at the end of this video.
I say this somewhat frequently, especially for people that don't know me well, but if you don't want to make at least $1 million, what are you doing here? If you set a goal to make at least $1 million, $1 million doesn't buy what it used to. Mm-hmm. So if you set a goal to make at least $1 million, I don't know what you're doing. Your goals are too small. You need bigger goals and more help. And the idea that I'm just gonna tinker around with real estate, Derek. The course has been great. I'm just going to do some real estate stuff. I got one more week and we'll work on my real estate. Well, if you don't understand those other two areas of wealth creation, if you don't understand how the stock market works, if you don't understand how entrepreneurship works, then you're going to be very limited. You're going to make bad decisions in real estate too, because you're not really going to understand, bond prices or competing investments, and you're going to be buying things that are buying real estate that's overvalued or mispriced at different times in the market. You'll be buying things when the interest rates are too high and not knowing when to refinance. You have to understand those three pieces together. And the fight analogy is like, imagine if you want to be a UFC champion, but you only want to be a boxer.
Yeah, no, you better know grappling, the takedowns, the on the ground, and whatnot. And also, if you're good real estate, there might be times when it makes sense to make a little extra money in the stock market. Yeah. Sometimes there's easy money to pick up there.
A lot of my real estate investments, the majority of my real estate investments are in the stock market. So I have these properties here. I got 9 properties at the moment, and then we have many millions of dollars in real estate and infrastructure investments in the stock market, and I think it's fantastic. I don't have to go manage them. I don't have to deal with phone calls from idiots that there's a spider in their kitchen and they want me to come kill it. I don't have time to kill the spider in their kitchen. I don't want to pay somebody to go do that either. It's their spider. They can deal with it. I don't want a phone call to change somebody's light bulb. I don't want a phone call because their shithead kid put something in the toilet and clogged it up again. I don't want to deal with those things. So, in the stock market, you can buy things called REITs, real estate investment trusts, or you can buy stocks that are heavy, have a heavy interest in real estate on their balance sheets, and you can be a participant in the real estate market without directly owning it or managing the real estate yourself. You can own it indirectly through the stock market and have professional managers deal with all those little trifles and annoyances on your behalf. So I love that when you can buy real estate for less than it's worth and get a professional management team for free.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now I can spend my time doing the things I'd like to do. Now I can go lift weights, almost every day. I can go train MMA, 19 days a month, and continue making progress on other things that are important to me. Can help my friends, can help my clients, do a lot of other things that are more fun than that. So, other thoughts that you've had around accountability, success. How important is it to have those coaches? You made a comment about that when you're on top, when you're already world champion, you kind of have that target on your back that everybody's looking at you, everybody's looking at your old tape. Mm-hmm. people want to train with your old training partners.
Yeah, it's crucial to have, have good coaching so you can try to keep learning, because guys, they watch you, they figure out what you do, so you have to keep getting better. You can't come in doing the exact same thing, because people figure out exactly what you're doing and they're going to try copying and imitating it. So you have to keep evolving and keep getting better, which it becomes hard. Once you're already really good, to keep getting better, it gets difficult, but the best are always innovating and coming out and doing different stuff, not coming out and doing exactly the same thing over and over. I imagine it's probably like that in the business world too. People start looking at patterns, they start copying it. You can't expect, the same couple companies that have already been good to keep going up. It's not like you come in and you can't, the stock market, you can't just buy the companies that have shot up the most and expect them to keep going up. It's not going to work that way.
I find that hilarious. People make comments to me on occasion. Say, "Oh, do you own Apple?"
You say you missed that boat already.
No, I don't want to own Apple. What would have to happen for Apple to be able to triple in value? It's already.
You have to invent something completely new, revolutionary, which is probably not going to happen.
It'd have to be something so valuable and exceptionally useful to mankind that they'd have to find something better than boobs for the company that's already a couple $1 trillion to triple from where it's at. They'd have to invent something better than boobs. All right. And without that, I don't think that Apple is going to triple in value. It doesn't mean it won't go up over time. It doesn't mean it won't triple over decades. Okay, but there's other things out there that are less shiny and hyped up that are going to be more valuable. That are going to on a percentage basis or on a delta basis for the math nerds. It's going to be more valuable over time. It's going to go up faster. Going to give you a higher return, and your risk reward ratio is frankly safer. Because some of these stocks, when the prices go up on a stock and then anything bad happens, the prices can go down very quickly. So you could be safer. Your risk reward is better, owning things that are look like they're beat up, but have more upside potential, less downside and more upside potential. Macy's, by the way, we were talking about Macy's a week ago. Earnings came out on the 16th. I was buying Macy's on Monday last week for $10.65, $10.65, and today is at $15. I think it closed at $14.84 today, but it's over $15. So that's in 7 days, 7 trading days, plus the weekend. So in 9 days, from last Monday till now, the stock's up 42%. That's a lot of money. Over 40% in a week, basically. That's a lot of money. So I mentioned that, before the earnings call last week, I mentioned that, if the stock goes up, that's great. I'll make a nice chunk of money. And if the stock goes down, I'll buy more, because over time, I think the stock will go up and I'll make even more money. So the stock's up over 40%. And go fact check that yourself. Go look at a chart of Macy's.
See, last time I was here, we actually had a talk. I was like, "What stock should we be buying?" And you go, I would buy a good chunk of Macy's. And I bought half what I meant to buy. Unfortunately, I forgot to put in the order for the second half. I was like, and then I came here and saw I was up 40% this week. I'm like, damn it. At least about half what I meant to buy.
Well, a high quality problem.
Yeah.
High quality problem. Maybe that's another thing worth talking about is there's some people they're addicted to this idea. They think that newer is better, that whatever the new trendy thing is, that's where the value is. And I think the new trendy thing is usually bullshit. And I like to buy boring things that I can understand. I like to do boring things repetitively. Like if I go lift the weights, my muscles get bigger. If I go do the MMA training, my skills get better. If I go do the boring things in business that other people don't want to do, my bank accounts get bigger. Our brokerage account gets bigger. And they're just boring and reliable, That doesn't mean you don't get great returns. I get fantastic returns. I'm beating the shit out of the S&P 500 this year. I'm up 30-something%. The S&P's up 19%. So I'm beating the shit out of the S&P 500. But I'm just going boring. I buy things that people don't like, that are generally out of favor, and but they're good values. They're things that I understand, well enough to see how are the humans going to interact with this business over time, and what's the future of this company or this asset or this behavior, based on that. And if you could just do that consistently, I make a lot of money in stocks, make a lot of money in real estate, even in my personal hobbies of lifting some weights or some MMA training. It's how you make progress. So how What are your thoughts of doing, boring things consistently versus, trying the new trendy, spinning back fist or whatever?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Coaching, you get guys, they want to come in, they see the cool moves they see, but you got to really get the fundamentals down first. And it's just doing it over and over. It's the boring stuff. You can't come right in and start doing the fancy stuff unless you have complete understanding of all the basic movements. And you do it over and over. Every day you'll be doing the same movements sometimes, like an hour doing the same boring, repetitive stuff, but that's how you master things. The guys come in, want to hop around and do a million different fancy things, they get good at nothing. Instead of mastering a few things, then you can start expanding. Like you said, the stocks, you look at it, just super basic, boring stuff, stuff like Macy's. No one's like, oh, Macy's is not exciting, or, home builder, stuff like that. It's not exciting stuff, but there's money in it.
How'd that home builder thing turn out? We talked about Green Brick Partners at different times. That's another real estate play. I bought this home builder in Texas called Green Brick Partners. That's another thing that Jake and I talked about, and he made some decisions about. How'd that go?
Oh, really good. I think almost close to triple my money in I think less than 6 months. It just kind of shot up. I got lucky, sold right at the top. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is up too high. Sold, and then didn't crash, but went down a little bit. That was one of those just perfect timing. Bought it, shot up, made some quick money. That's why I love the stock market. Sometimes you can make just random quick money without much work. There's nowhere else you really can do that in life. Like, I'm into real estate too. I have a few houses, but it's usually pretty safe, but it's some work.
Yeah, the real estate takes time, and if you could buy. Both the things we're talking about are real estate. One of them is just a publicly traded company. It's a home builder. It's a publicly traded company versus managing the shit yourself.
Yeah, so much easier if someone else is doing all the management. If I can come in, invest in a real estate company like that, get paid for no work, that's way better than going out, buying the house myself, doing remodeling, dealing with renters. Not there's a lot of money in that, but it's also a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so keep a few of these pointers in mind, folks. Like, you don't need the new trendy thing so much. The new trendy thing is oftentimes not your friend. So I like things that are reliable, consistent. I like to do business and spend my time with people they're going to be very consistent. I know they're reliable. I know they're going to keep their word. I don't have to worry about these little, trust issues or distractions that normal people have to deal with. If you and I set a plan together, we don't got to ask each other 2-3 more times of, oh, hey, you coming over this day or that day or whatever. Just like, hey, what time's your flight tomorrow?
Yeah, we're both always reliable, and I don't like to work people. I know you're the same. I don't like to work. If someone's not reliable, I don't like to work with them. Unless I'm making a lot of money working with someone, if they're not reliable, there's no way I'm going to work with them.
I don't have time for it. There's so many, well, we had this conversation as well. There's so many high quality people that, you only have so much time in the day, and the world's full of shit bags. There's shit bags everywhere. But if you got a dozen people in your life that are pretty consistent and reliable, you don't have any time. Your whole schedule's booked. If you got a dozen people in your life that are showing up consistent, they're putting in work consistent, you don't have time for anybody that's not.
Yeah, the guy that's flaky is going to get cut right out of your schedule.
There's no time.
I think a lot of people don't realize that. They're trying to get in these higher end circles. They flake one time, they get cut out. It's because people don't take that lightly. If you have a busy schedule and someone flakes on you, or even if they're late, it's disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't want to spend any time dealing with somebody that's is not going to show up and do their part consistently. It doesn't make any sense.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.